All right, so we've talked about creating marketing plans, finding Twitch streamers, but what about conventional games press? There's still a bunch of bloggers and folks running game journalism sites that could help you get some exposure with a really nice article. How do you make that happen? How do you stick out from all of the other indie games that are flooding journalists' email inboxes? Well, our next speaker hopes to help you figure that out for yourself. He's the editor in chief of Bago Games, comes from a PR background, and also helped with the Legends of Equestria launch. Please welcome to the stage, Michael Mosley.
Hello and welcome to Journalism and You, What You Need to Know. My name is Michael Mosley and I will be presenting this panel for you. So first start with our intro. Who is Michael Mosley? Some of you may know me from my online pseudonym, Fox Daddy. I am a video game journalist. I have been doing it since about 2010. I have experience in public relations for about 6 years. I helped launch Legends of Equestria, My Little Ponies Friendship is Magic fan-made MMORPG. I became a content creator in 2020. Currently, I am the editor-in-chief for the video game website, Bago Games, and currently I am co-hosting the Power Up in Game podcast for the Nerd Stash. So let's go over what we'll be learning from this panel. This panel will go over how video game journalists pick which game or games to talk about and how our audience impact those decisions. I'll also talk to you about how your press releases affect your chances to grab our attention and creating and maintaining contacts with not only us, but with public relations. So when it comes to picking and choosing, in all honesty, video game journalists are quite picky on what we report. We are gamers after all. And despite our best efforts, we still have preferences and biases when it comes to certain developers, publishers, and or genres. And that can show in our coverage. We pick games depending on many criteria. Am I interested in this game? Will enough of my audience find this interesting? How much content can I get from this? So when you talk to journalists or when you're getting ready to pitch a game to journalists, you have to remember that we are still gamers, despite what social media will probably tell you. We do enjoy video games and we do have our biases. We do have certain games that we enjoy. Not all journalists like indie games, so they probably won't choose them. But for people like me and Bagel Games who do like indie games and we do cover them, we do have our biases. Some of us like roguelites, some of us like RPGs, and honestly, it's difficult for us sometimes to pick the right person because we can't give that one person all of the indie games. We only have a very small amount of writers and content creators, and journalists have to be very picky on what we pick when it comes to these games, including AAA games. But when it comes to indie games, we have to be very careful because why indie games have become much bigger in the past 3, even 4 years, is still at the point to where gamers themselves will look at AAA games before they look at indie games. And for a video game website, unfortunately, we do want something that holds the attention of gamers. So hopefully by the end of this panel, I can help you make better decisions and how to pitch your game towards journalists, both big and small. Journalists will eat up interviews and exclusive. That may sound like a no-brainer, but is a risky thing for indie games to do. The right journalist or content creator can generate the right buzz your game may need to get noticed. We will milk the heck out of anything exclusive, especially gameplay videos we can use to create multiple posts. So this is one of the big risks when it comes to pitching your game to journalists. You have to decide, are we going to do anything exclusive? Will we give this journalist the first look at screenshots, or are we going to give them interviews with developers? Are we going to give them interviews with some of our writers or some of our cast members? These are things that we look forward to. We don't say it out loud because it's pretty unprofessional to just see an indie game and be like, hey, can we get these exclusives? We know it's difficult for all of you to put your game out there. And for you to give one journalist, both big and small, an exclusive is a bit of a risk because you're also telling other journalists that you have more faith in this one website or this one magazine than you do with anybody else. But with that said, that is something that we truly enjoy because we will milk it to the point to where we have 3 posts in 1 week about your game just because we have something exclusive that we know no other journalist is going to be able to publish. If you give us interviews, if you give us screenshots, If you give us dev videos before you release it to anybody else, we will make 3 or 4 posts of that and spread it all over our social medias. So when it comes to audience impact, it should go without saying that our readers make a huge impact on what we cover and how often. While it's great to get interviews or gameplay videos, if your game isn't resonating, there's a good chance an editor will not want to waste resources on having their writing staff continue to cover it. Yes, even if the writer or writers are very interested, in the end, it's all about getting clicks and views. Even I had interviews shot down by site admins because they didn't think it was a good fit for their site and audience. The readers or viewers practically has the final say on what the site runs. And even as editor-in-chief, I had to make those tough decisions as well. My email, even to this day, is flooded with all kind of stuff from small studios to bigger studios, to even medium studios. It's very difficult for us to give our writers everything. And unfortunately, I do have to make those decisions of what gets passed and what gets put onto the website. And while the admin does have the say, they trust the editors and they trust the editor-in-chief to make the right decisions on what goes onto their site. And later on in this panel, I will talk about how you can improve those chances and what you can do to get us to move your game, your news forward. And that starts with press releases, which is your best friend. The toughest part about getting your game in front of press is the news itself. You're pretty much pitching your game to us. You already did this with your publishing partner, and now you have to do it again, especially if you're self-publishing. Even small sites can get dozens of emails every day. Many even find press releases on journalism resource sites, such as Press Extra and Press Engine. A great way to grab a journalist's attention with your press release is by doing more than just explain your game. Add in opportunities for interviews, provide links to press materials beyond screenshots, and we love access to gameplay videos and original soundtracks. Now, later in this post, I will have a great example of one of my favorite press releases that I've received recently. But your press release is a huge, huge part of pitching your game to journalists. And unfortunately, we don't read everything in your press release because, again, we have dozens upon dozens of emails from everybody trying to grab our attention. And you honestly get kind of sick of reading walls of text. So unfortunately, you do have to do something to separate yourself from other publishers and other developers and grab our attentions. It's almost like with TikTok or YouTube Shorts. You got to do it quick. It has to be something that catches you right off the bat, like an elevator pitch where you have only 10 seconds to pitch out your idea or your concept. It's the same way with your press release. You can have a wall of text to give us more information in case we are interested in your game, but unfortunately, you have to catch our interest right away, or else your email gets skimmed over and get looked over. So this is Kina, Bridge of Spirits. This is one of the press releases that I received recently, and I find to be a magnificent example of what journalists look for when we look at press releases. So it's more than just a wall of text that you see here. There's plenty of information on here for us. Embargoes, we love embargoes. If you give us news early, not the day of, but at least a day or two early, that gives us so much more time to pitch these things to our writers, to plan out if we want to create more content with these things, and plan out our time, our resources with our writers and content creators. As see, I blocked off the assets and the teaser trailer marks for obvious reasons. They offered us a review key, which is something completely different. You don't have to do that. It's only a bonus. And they have all kinds of information down here from the embargo to the big text showing us exactly what we want to see. Kingdom Bridge of Spirits is coming to Xbox the 15th of August. Right there, simple, right to the point. That's what we want. And seeing this, seeing the embargo, that caught my interest. And I wanted to look more into this. And I did. And this is just one of the many, many things that journalists would love you for. If you're able to give us so much more than just this wall of text, if you can get us things like gameplay screenshots, original soundtracks, audio from the game, audio clips from the game, logos, art concepts. All this stuff are things that we love because it gives us more resources than just going on Google and searching for everything ourselves. Everything that we need is right here. So when we send it to our journalists, they don't have to go on a wild goose hunt and seeing what's official and what's not official. It's these kind of things that we look forward to, that we look for. If you give us something like this, there's a very good chance that we're going to use your press release because now we have all the resources that we want. So we want our writers to go in and put everything in there. We can have a field day with this. We can do the press release one day, and then the next day we can show off a few of the videos that we have from the press release and make that a completely different post. One, it could be award-winning Kina Bridge of Spirits is coming to Xbox on the 15th. Okay, we did a post on that. And the next post, I could have one of my content creators do a whole video on Keenan coming to Xbox and how it was award-winning and how well it did on PlayStation 5, because now we have a bunch of videos that he or she can put into their video to create a video content. And so that's 2, 3 days worth of stuff that we can use right there. And talking face to face, nothing is better than going to a convention or expo and meeting you all face to face. We want to talk to you and work together. So stay calm and stay relaxed. We're just as excited and anxious as you. It's okay to stop us and chat a little. While it's true we have schedules like everybody else, we don't mind trying to squeeze another news articles out of an event. Don't hesitate to make a joke or two. Games are not only entertaining, but socially engaging too. When a journalist sees and hears a dev just being themselves, we gain a stronger interest in the person, thus their game too. This is something that I cannot hark on enough, and we do not have enough time in this panel, unfortunately, for me to go into great details. But these are the kind of things beyond a press release that I was talking about earlier that would absolutely floor journalists, keep you in their mind, and have them want to email you and talk more about your game. I love going to conventions. I love going to expos. I've covered all kinds of expos. I've gone to E3. I've gone to TwitchCon. I've gone to anime conventions. I've gone to Comic Con. It is just energetic out there, and I absolutely love going to them. Journalists love going to them. It's a privilege, and we know that, and we want to make the most out of that privilege. So when we see you, yes, we are going to talk to you. We are going to stop by your booth, but sometimes when we're in a hurry or when we have a schedule to keep and we walk by, don't hesitate to say, "Hey, my name is such and such. I see you're in a hurry. Here's my card. Please take it. And when you have time, come talk to me." Absolutely, we're going to come talk to you. I have walked up to plenty of developers and plenty of publishers and spoken to them for 20, 30 minutes about their game without even seeing it, just seeing a little plush or seeing a screenshot of their game. Talking to us face to face is something that we look forward to because we want to make that connection right away so that we have a feeling of who you are. So if we do want to ask for an interview, we know right off the bat, okay, I can talk to this person this way. This is the way they speak. These are the things that we can talk about. And this is how easygoing, or if they're shy, I can ask them if I can talk to somebody else. It gives us a great, strong feeling about who you are, and it brings a much more personal feeling to your game. Your business card design can do wonders. A well-designed business card gives an idea about your studio and the kind of personality your game may have. Bland business cards will get thrown in an ever-growing pile of contacts, but an interesting card will keep a journalist's eyes fixed for a good while. This will ensure that they will look over the card multiple times and remember it. Have a strong understanding about your game or your games and your team. Don't be an indie team who can't pin down what they hope to achieve with their game. This is a sign that you don't have confidence in your own work. So why should I, as a reporter, report on a game that even the devs are unsure about? Even if you're not good at public speaking, we love seeing you more than a hired rep. They can often sound robotic, but we know you have a passion for your game. So going back to the business card, I have a thick pile of business cards over the years. And yes, I do keep them because I enjoy looking at them. I enjoy getting in contact with some of these people. And I enjoy seeing how far I've gotten in my career. So if you have a wonderful card, there's a great chance that journalist you spoke to still has it. It might be in their desk, it might be on their desk, but they definitely still have it. And I, as a journalist, I try to have a fun card to let you know that I'm not just a business person. I'm not just somebody just looking for the next game to play or the next game to cover. I'm there because I enjoy this industry and I want to see your game and I want you to know that I'm here to have fun. It's more than just business for me. And having a strong understanding about your game goes very far. I have started interviews right off the bat with people, like right at the expo. I will set up the camera and interview them right away because they have such a strong idea of their game and their passion for their game that I didn't want to wait until I got home and then contact them through email and then do an interview through Zoom. I wanted to do the interview then and there because their excitement was already at 10 and my excitement was now at 10, and with both of us being at 10, I wanted the best interview possible. And I feel that when a developer is super passionate about their game and they show it right off the bat, that's the best time to do an interview, and that's the best time for the journalist and the developer to get in contact and stay in contact and work together. But if you're not good at public speaking, it took a while for me to get used to talking to people face to face and on video. It's okay to hire a representative. I've spoken to plenty of representatives. Um, but we would like to speak to you personally because we want to connect to you. But if you do have a rep, that is perfectly fine. I'd rather you have a rep who is willing to have a strong conversation with me about your game rather than you not having the confidence and then flubbing it all up. And then I get the wrong idea that you are not passionate about your game and that you're just there. So if you're not good at public speaking, it is completely okay to hire a representative. So I hope that this panel was educational for you. And if you are an indie developer who is looking to get interviews or to connect with somebody, please connect with me. You can find me on X/Twitter at M_MOSLEY_JR. I am on Blue Sky. And you can also email me through Bago Games at michael.mosley@bagogames.com. So thank you all for listening to my panel, and I hope it was helpful for you.
Thanks so much for your talk, Michael. I think it's always good to remember that passion is what brings us here to the game space. I think it's pretty evident when you hear Michael speaking that there is real passion in what he's saying. Passion for games in a way that I feel like we don't see very often on, say, the bird site. It's that focus on making meaningful connection that I think helps us cut through the noise. How do we meaningfully connect? Is it with an email that has good formatting and supplemental resources? Is it with a conversation on a show floor? However it is, remembering that you're connecting with a person can make all the difference. So thank you for that talk, Michael. If you'd like to keep up with Michael, you can find him on bagogames.com.